Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. I thought I would change things around a little bit and do a poetry reading featuring none other than the great Stephen Crane. He is also well known for a novel that he wrote, but generally speaking, the poetry is pretty good, the novel not so hot. So I'm going to read poems selected from his book of poetry titled The Black Riders and Other Lines. I think that's what it was called. Starting with his most famous, most anthologized poem. Once again, I'm working with these little bookmarks, which kind of are hard to handle. This book assigns each poem a number, and I think I will follow this numbering as I read the poems because none of the poems have titles. 3. In the desert, I saw a creature, naked, bestial, who, squatting upon the ground, held his heart in his hands and ate of it. I said, "Is it good, friend?" "It is bitter, bitter," he answered, "but I like it because it is bitter and because it is my heart." Number 9. I stood upon a high place and saw below many devils running, leaping, and carousing in sin. One looked up, grinning, and said, "Comrade, brother." Number 11. In a lonely place, I encountered a sage who sat all still, regarding a newspaper. He accosted me, "Sir, what is this?" Then I saw that I was greater than this sage. I answered him at once, Old man, it is the wisdom of the age." The sage looked upon me with admiration. Seems somehow fitting for our time. Number 17. There were many who went in huddled procession, they knew not whither. But at any rate, success or calamity would attend all in equality. There was one who sought a new road. He went into direful thickets, and ultimately he died thus, alone. But they said he had courage. I should mention that I'm going to end this reading with a bonus. I'm going to read a poem from my book Against Fascism, which pertains to the case of Tina Peters, which is much in the news these last several days. Number 19. A god in wrath was beating a man. He cuffed him loudly with thunderous blows that rang and rolled over the earth. All people came running. The man screamed and struggled and bit madly at the feet of the god. The people cried, "Ah, what a wicked man!" and "Ah, what a redoubtable god!" Let me adjust this a little. There we go. Number 24. I saw a man pursuing the horizon. Round and round they sped. I was disturbed at this. I accosted the man. "It is futile," I said. "You can never—" "You lie," he cried, and ran on. Followed by number 25. Behold, the grave of a wicked man, and near it a stern spirit. There came a drooping maid with violets, but the spirit grasped her arm. "No flowers for him," he said. The maid wept. "Ah, I loved him." But the spirit, grim and frowning, "No flowers for him." Now this is it. If the spirit was just, why did the maid weep? Number 31. Many workmen built a huge ball of masonry upon a mountaintop. Then they went to the valley below and turned to behold their work. "It is grand," they said. They loved the thing. Of a sudden it moved. It came upon them swiftly. It crushed them all to blood, but some had opportunity to squeal. One could almost make a case for that being fascism. Number 56. A man feared that he might find an assassin, another that he might find a victim. One was more wise than the other. I think that's all I have selected from Stephen Crane for tonight. So, to the case of Tina Peters, I think she's of Colorado, some sort of election official, and she, as is generally speaking the Republicans' want, that is to say the want of the Republican Party, she attempted to cheat. Now, this was some time back, and she was found guilty and convicted, found guilty by the state. As the fears for the midterm elections mount up amongst the fascist camp, they are trying to do what they can to disrupt or even cancel them. We, of course, have to hold fast and make sure that we do all we can to see that the elections roll forth, and that to the extent possible, everybody votes. It is said that just one encounter with a policeman will diminish the chances of a person voting significantly. And of course, we are going to be having military in all of our cities, particularly in Democratic strongholds, or blue states as they are called. And so our president, who is acting desperate, wants very much to rig the election in his favor. People are starting to call it the big rig. And so he wants people to understand that vote tampering in favor of the Republican Party will not be punished, and that those who do will be exonerated insofar as he holds that power. Now, he has made a hallmark so far in his administration of pardoning or commuting the sentences of those who are as guilty as sin. However, his authority does not extend to persons that are convicted under state law. So this, what did I say her name was? Tina Peters. He wants very much for her to be freed, and he has lately been putting great pressure upon the state to see that, as I put it here, the prison doors swing wide. So this is a poem that was originally written and originally posted on May 6th. The Peters Case. Her name was Tina Peters, and she was the county clerk, presiding over Mesa, Colorado. But in 2020, an unusual day at work saw her act sans the typical bravado. Rather, she slyly, sneaky, surreptitiously instead tried tampering with the vote as had been tallied. Her idol, Donald Trump, had falsely claimed and boldly pled that he had won, and all his minions rallied. The story how they sacked the Capitol is widely known. Policemen murdered, other deaths averted. While through his lies, the candidate who lost caused to be sown doubts as to the result, his push concerted. Peters, as a Republican, preferred rather to win by means dishonest than election fairly. And so a court convicted her, the states that she was in, when tampering had been proven fair and squarely. 4 of the 7 charges on which she had been convicted were felonies, the others misdemeanors. Prison time sentenced for the clerk who had been so conflicted as fitting for election contraveners. Alas, because the population made a dumb mistake, returning Donald Trump to his high office. After 4-year hiatus, now he cagedly tries to break the constitutional system as it suffers. So he attempts to cast a net that ranges far and wide of loyal in fact and prospective colluders. So federally, because her state crime was upon his side, he and his band of brash, begrudging brooders They want to interfere with the state process and to see the prison gates swing wide for Tina Peters. Their machinations made for a result not legally permissible, but so it goes with cheaters. Any and all who do uphold the rule of law and prize it above partisan loyalties and profit are faced with a dictator as he would be, who denies it, bold in his efforts to demean and scoff it. He makes of them a target, and God help the soul that falls afoul of this illicit movement's madness. For it will stop at nothing, and they are no falderals when minions of the movement ooze their badness. The Republican Party has enacted and espoused policies which are extremely unpopular. And so it seems to be pretty certain now that the party understands it cannot win unless it cheats. And so the push is full on right now. And of course, it is our job, we who love and cherish democracy, it is our job to work against it and see that the electoral process continues through the next cycle and beyond. Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.